Welcome back, everyone, to Velocity Online 2021. Up right now, we have a Biped solo any percent run to be done by SunnyMuffinSR, and I will pass it over to him. Sunny?
Hey everybody, good morning. I'm Sunny Muffin, and we're gonna be doing some Biped today. So first off, we have to start with on the new game screen, but time doesn't start until the end of this cutscene, just to make sure that our game is actually a fresh new game. And then joining me today on commentary, we have Sanjin. Sanjin, you want to introduce yourself real quick while we're watching the intro cutscene?
Hello. Sorry for watching a cute robot. I speedrun Octopath. I'm a pro speedrunner just because I've watched plenty of Biped runs, so I totally know what I'm talking about. But I'll be assisting him today on comms.
Yeah, Sanjin kindly agreed to help me out with commentary. The community for this game is rather small, and it's hard to get people to help, so it's nice having somebody to chat with during the run. But we're going to get started. Do you want me to do a countdown for timer?
Go right ahead.
All right. So we're going to get going in 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, this is Biped. This is like a 3D physics puzzle platformer type game. It is pretty cute. You play as 2 different robots, and yeah, you move using the joysticks, which is like the game's main gimmick, and it gets a little bit awkward at times. And yeah, so we're going to be moving around through these levels. I'm going to try this strat once. This is the IL strat, and it's pretty yikes. Basically, I'm trying to yeet my biped off of this platform onto the lower platform by spinning it, which I almost got it. Yeah, that strategy, it saves like 15 seconds when you do it first try, but it's really inconsistent, and it's usually only IL, but I like to give it a go anyway. So yeah, this is our biped. We're playing as the boy biped right now. We get randomly selected between the boy and the girl biped. They both have the exact same hitbox, which is really weird because their models are different sizes, but that is completely fine. We have 2 forms of movement in this game. So first form of movement, you see the walking. You just move the joysticks. So like your right joystick controls the right leg, your left joystick controls the left leg. And then we have sliding. So sliding is the fastest form of movement in this game, but it can only be done on smooth surfaces. So like this surface right here, it is smooth and we can slide on it. You do have momentum with this, and a lot of things in this game are momentum based. So like your physics like keeps, okay. I was trying to beat the cycle there, which you can do some death abuse and hit checkpoints to make sure that you hit the cycles that you need. And yeah, this is the first level. This is biped training. This level is like pretty basic, but it is cycle based. All of these bumpers and everything in biped is on global cycles. So when you first start the level, you start the timer, and depending on how fast you move through the level, you're going to get different cycles. Sometimes it's known cycles. Sometimes it's like, okay, I don't know where I'm at, and I'm just going to have to try to wing it the best I can. Yeah, that's the first level. It's pretty basic. We are going to be making our way through 8 levels today of fun physics platforming puzzles using this little robot. There's a little bit of a cutscene between most of the levels, just giving you a little bit of downtime between your general movement type things. Whoops, I held left there. That's okay. So we're moving into dense forest. This is where we're going to start seeing some more of like the tech for this game. We're going to have some skips. We're going to be trying to go as fast as we possibly can. So this first skip here, I basically need to use my leg as a lever and hop over this wall. I didn't make it. That skip actually saves 0 time. It's mostly just for swag, but it does set you up a little bit better for this cutscene. So every cutscene in this game, like when these other friendly robots are talking, you gain control a little bit before the cutscene ends and the camera pans back to the biped. So I'm going to be doing off-screen movement every time there's a cutscene. For the most part, it's nothing impressive. It's just going in the direction I was going anyway. But it's just a little bit of time save right there. This is one of the harder like skips in the run, which I didn't hit. So basically, like small gaps can be momentumed over. Like if I have a bunch of momentum going into them, I can continue my slide. But large gaps, you need a lot of speed. And that one right there, I hit some terrain. This is the first skip, I guess, in the game. Basically, there's like a puzzle where you have to activate a bunch of shapes to get through that gap, but the developers kindly left enough terrain for your biped to cross over if you're very precise in your movement.
Yeah, so he kind of had to target like a very specific area. You can be pretty specific on your targeting with your robot, and so he pretty much just like had to specifically point out. And this is another kind of this is like another log puzzle. Excuse me. So he was on a pretty good cycle from the looks of it. So like he could easily just slide through anything.
Yeah, and the cycles there, like it's really dependent on how quick you go through the first part of the level. So I know the IL cycle, and that's about it. Every other time, it's like completely you have to read what cycle you're on, which can get pretty difficult because some of those blocks are not exactly consistent in their collision, and some of them you can pass behind them if you're at the right part of the cycle. So it gets a little bit confusing. But yeah, this game it was designed for young kids because there's lots of shapes. They like to use the triangle, the circle, and the rectangle to make sure you know your shapes so you can progress onward. We also have these like auto-scroller grind sections. It's like the biped wants to be a skater, but he's not a skater. So we just have to sit there and hold on one leg for the entire time. It's a nice little cooldown from the actual levels. We're on a good cycle here. I didn't have to wait for any platforms. And we're going to try another skip here. This one's a little bit precise. Okay, I missed it. But you can momentum your biped around by doing like a little swingy move. There we go. And you can use that to cross really small gaps. In general, like other than the ridiculous individual level strats where you have to like swing your biped around in circles, you really don't have too much control over how much they can jump. You can just kind of like move them back and forth. Yeah, that's the second level of the game. That level is pretty difficult. There's like the skips in there are rather hard and sometimes inconsistent. Especially when you're going for a really good time, that level can just eat a bunch if you get a bad cycle, and then it just completely throws off the second half of the level. So yeah, we are the girl robot now. We got randomly selected. There's literally no difference between the two. It's just cool that they got the pink and the blue. But yeah, we're gonna be introduced to like some more physics puzzle type things. And this, you move platforms by having your biped on one side or the other of the platform, and it's very intuitive. It moves the direction that you think it's going to move. But this level is Cactus Valley, and it's one of the quicker levels in the run. In general, the longer levels are going to be at the tail end of the run, but this one is like uniquely short for some reason. But you are going to discover the like seesaw puzzles here, and this one up here has a skip. Can you talk about that one, Senjin?
Yep, so it's not this one, but I believe it's going to be... So basically these cowboy robots are going to be kind of getting on, and you kind of need to help balance them, but you're just going to ditch the robot because you can kind of... Because like once the seesaw kind of goes down enough, you can basically pretty much just skip needing to wait for your fellow cowboy robot to come over and help balance it, and you just kind of just like directly get back onto the next platform.
Oh, okay.
So
Flipped off there. This is we get to see the skip again, which is cool. But yeah, so this skip right here, we skip one of those like little grind sections by wedging our biped through the little fence right there and just jumping down to this platform. This platform is like, it's super weird. It's kind of sticky and kind of not. There are surfaces in this game that are sticky where you can kind of be on them even if you're at like a 90-degree angle, which we'll see a little bit more of later. But this one right here you can slide off of, and if you are not careful, like I was not, you can fall off. But yeah, here's another cowboy robot that's going to attempt to help us. He really just wants to be useful, and he is going to be useful. until we decide he's not.
Yeah, so from here, he's kind of doing the puzzle mostly as intended, but once the cowboy robot reaches a certain spot, he can, or Sunny kind of like yeet himself going through the top middle part there, and you leave your robot friends behind again because you're trying to go fast.
Now, all in the name of speed. We can't have our cowboy robot friends. We're just gonna ditch them and go fast. Yeah, we hop in this little capsule thing, roll down the hill, and break down this wall. Yeah, this game makes complete sense. But pretty much, we are 2 robots that ran out of their ship crashed, and we're out of energy. So we need to activate the beacons to get energy for our ship, so we can fly back. I don't know. I don't think there's actually any plot to this game. It's just they decided they wanted to make a 3D based physics puzzle game, and then they slapped together a story. But we're activating all the beacons. This is Rainy Ruins. This tech is actually really new. Can you talk about this one?
Yeah, so this little tech here, so he's gonna skip this first little feat puzzle, which we'll explain in a second here. So it's a little precise, but Sunny kind of has to like climb, use the good old biped legs to climb on top of this rock, and then there's gonna be like little position where Sunny can kind of just like completely climb over this first part here, and he can kind of like def warp and get behind that first puzzle to skip it. So I think normally there you'd have to kind of like do a tutorial on those little featsies.
Yeah, there's actually a really long tutorial there. It's like 20 seconds long where the robot explains how to use the feat puzzles. It's like, I get it. It says I need 1 foot. I'm just going to put 1 foot on it and it's going to work.
Yeah, so as you see there's kind of like a feat, like something out of 3. So you need the correct amount of feet for the platform not to become smaller. So there's going to be ways to get around this. So like, as you see here, Sunny put the little mini robot, the fake robot on there, and then just walked on kind of like 1 feet, and that's how you get 3 feet. Yeah, this game also this level teaches you how to count.
Yeah, it's going to teach us how to count to 20. That's a big number. But yeah, this game actually has like a really extensive co-op campaign, and I think that's what it was primarily designed for. But the co-op campaign isn't as much fun to speedrun as the solo campaign. But in the co-op campaign, you would have 2 people here, so you could do these feat puzzles using 2 robots. But we are solo because it's faster and it's more fun. So we have to use these little helper bots to add some feet to our puzzles so we can get over things. This one in particular is like really jank. Sometimes it's hard to like actually release the robot when you want it to, because again, I'm only using the joysticks here. So in order to release my hold on whatever object I'm interacting with, I have to like let the leg go, and then that leg is misplaced. So it takes a lot of pre-planning and figuring out how to go through these levels quickly. Here we have another skip. We're going to be going over this slippery rock to get over the wall and skip a puzzle there. Basically everything in this game that is out of bounds is slippery for some reason. Like, the devs, they didn't just like block it off, but they made it so it's really difficult to move around on. That's why you see me like on that first skip of the level, trying really hard to get on top of that rock, because it's actually really hard to do. Oh, okay, we got wedged. So I was going for a strat there where you can balance your biped's like head on the side of the platform, because here we have a robot jump down who's going to take up all of the feet on this platform. If you balance just your head, you don't have any feet, you can skip this little auto-scroller section. It's pretty hard to do. I usually only get it like 1 out of 5 times, so right there was that other 4 times there, because it's pretty hard. Yeah, our helper robot is going to be moving us through the rest of this level, and we're going to have the largest feat puzzle you've ever seen in your life right here, where we have to get 20 feet. That's a lot of feet.
Yeah, so we don't have enough, I guess, are they construction hat robots to,
It's like Indiana Jones expedition hat.
exit that. Okay, that's pretty good. So yeah, you got these evil pirate robots which kind of try to ruin your day. but Sunny's just gonna smartly walk past them, and they're like, "Oh no, I'll be back."
We are defeated. How could you possibly defeat us?
So this is also another unique little thing because you kind of have to sync movement with this, but Sunny can pretty much do kind of like the swag robot walk here, the swag kind of rapid joystick movement here, while he waits for the robo to get on there. And yay, we can count to 20.
Ooh, 20. Yeah, that's the escort quest of the game. You have to escort that robot over to the switch. Yeah. So this is Rainy Ruins. This level is another like run killer, I would say, in solo any percent. Just because the amount of tech in it, there's like 3 major skips, and in order to get the fastest time, you have to use risky strats. But that went pretty smoothly. I'm quite happy with the way that went.
Time for a quick donation.
Of course.
We have $1 from Usurpering saying, "Can I get a yeehaw in chat for the cowboy bots?" And I'll contribute that with my own yeehaw.
Thanks, Usurpering.
Yeehaw!
All right, we got the snow level because no game would be complete without a snow level.
So this is the first skip, so Sonny's gonna try. So there's a little tutorial here because this one you kind of have to spin your robot on these the middle of the little circle thingies, but unfortunately Sonny wasn't able to get it. So, oh no. So yeah, so you basically have to spin on it in order for it to kind of like go up, and then you have to climb up there. And we get more musical robot puzzles, except you get to do these by yourselves.
Yeah, so this level is probably, I would say, one of the harder levels in the run. It's completely cycle based. So in the middle of this level, there are 2 large gears that take 20 seconds to spin around in a circle. And there's only 1 cycle that you can hit if you were very fast. And basically any movement beyond that in the first part of the level does not matter. So since I messed up the skip at the beginning, I have to go really, really quick here in order to get the fast cycle, if this thing would let me go. And if not, I have to eat a 20-second time loss, which is really unfortunate, but not the end of the world. This level, so the first half, it just doesn't matter how fast you can go, because you will not hit a faster gear cycle. At least we haven't found a way to hit the cycle before the 20-second one. So it just you just got to move kind of rapidly through the beginning. But then the second half of the level is really, really technical and very difficult to do quickly. Yeah, so here are those sticky surfaces I was mentioning, where you can be at a complete 90-degree angle to the platforms and you will still stick onto them. The physics in this game are kind of wonky because of this. Like right here, I can do a little bit of off-screen movement and it just snaps you to the next little section. We have a little ball puzzle here. This is the only ball puzzle we see. There's actually 2 more in the game, but they both get skipped. So you have to use your leg to whack this ball. It's kind of hard because it's a pretty heavy ball, and our biped is little and not that strong. I have to wait here for this cycle because there's a big gap right there that I just fell into. But yeah, we're gonna be moving right along. Okay, I'm gonna wait for this one.
Yeah, if Sunny got here fast enough, he would just swag slide all the way over entire this little gear, since you'd be on a good cycle. But fortunately here, Sunny has to kind of wait and enjoy the music.
Yeah, we're 1 cycle slow here, but as you can see, this the gear that we're going to interact with up here, it only has one side, so that's why there's a 20-second cycle for this. And if you don't hit the fast one, you just have to wait. It's unfortunate, so I'm 1 cycle slow. A little minor skip here, where you just jump down to the bottom section instead of hitting the ball. And then we have our friendly neighborhood bumpers here. These things, you have to bounce off of them, but it's impossible to actually anticipate where you're gonna go because physics are physics. But that wasn't too bad. You can get up that cleanly without having to double bounce on any of them. It's just really, really hard and very inconsistent. So here we have the tornadoes. So if you are a fan of Mario, it's like the blowy joeys. They just bounce you up and down, and they're kind of annoying. Come on. So I have to swing myself up here, and then we have the largest skip in the level. Can you talk about that one real quick?
Yeah, so for this skip, Sunny's gonna try to skip like this normally large puzzle here by pretty much trying to time the little jump here with the tornadoes, as well as actually no tornadoes. He's just gonna straight up just time his jump with the little rope to get all the way up there pretty quick, and that's the end of the level.
Yeah, that skip is like notoriously hard because you have to not only hit the rope swing thing on the upward cycle at the right time, you have to momentum your other leg to get enough distance to cross the gap. It skips a puzzle that usually takes about 10 to 15 seconds, so it's a pretty large skip, and it makes that level one of the more one of the heavier reset points, because if you miss that, you just lose a ton of time. Yeah, we are on to the auto-scroller section of the run. This is probably the most boring level. There's not a lot you can do to speed it up. There's no really cool skips. There's exactly one piece of tech, which I will show off here. And we have to use our helpful saw robots that will be sawing wood for us. But basically, the only piece of tech in this level is the quick saw, which I am kind of like throttling the joystick only on the bottom part of the joystick, which enables you to saw much faster than the game intends. And this is useful exactly twice and never used again. The rest of the level, we have to wait for the helper robots to saw the wood to complete these puzzles.
Yeah, you're a very quick robot. These other robots are slowpokes. They're they're just taking their time. So now here, there's also a little mechanic where you kind of have to grab the wood here and toss it into the, words are escaping me, whatever that thing is, the little thing that lets you open the door. I'm failing in English right now. I don't know what you would call that.
It's like a wood vacuum. And this level makes like absolutely no sense. Like they're just cutting all of this wood into smaller pieces just to have it in smaller pieces. And they have these contraptions that are needlessly complicated in order for the wood to get to its location. So I don't know. This entire thing doesn't make any sense. But you have to, for the most part, it's like completely cycle based, and you have to wait for the wood to get chopped. So right here, I use a little bit of a visual indicator to make sure that that piece gets on its little moving platform and it can go over to the vacuum. Once it gets sucked in, we have the door here. Really the only optimization for this level is like to start moving toward your next location once you know the puzzle is completed. And then there's a little bit of cutscene off-screen movement, but for the most part, you're at the mercy of how slow this level likes to go. So like right here, this is what the rest of the level is going to be like, where we have our helper robots, and we get to sit here and wait for the puzzle to come to us. So if you have anything you want to plug or any like donation incentives, like feel free to talk about those.
I also believe wood chipper was what you were looking for there, possibly. But I will add in that we do have a new incentive open for the Spyro 3 Reignited run coming up later today, where you can choose Spyro's color, whether you want black, pink, or yellow. Those are all tied right now at $0. So if you want to choose Spyro's color, you have a good chance of getting in the lead right now. Continuing on, we are Velocity Online 2021, and we are not sponsored today. We are looking to help Rise Above the Disorder, which is a non-profit organization dedicated to battling the two greatest barriers to mental health care, which are accessibility and affordability. To accomplish their mission, Rise Above the Disorder is providing a universal mental health care system to people around the world. Too many people can't afford mental health care, and they're working to change that. Get your donations in to help a great cause in general, and to pick Spyro's color, which is the biggest incentive coming up. We also have the Kingdom Hearts 3 voice language incentive, which is still open, and many other poll incentives that you can look at when you go to the donate page. But right now, Spyro 3 is our big one here. So if you want black, pink, or yellow, you can donate now to take the lead.
Yeah, so now this is about this kind of similar type of puzzle where you kind of have to use physics to eat these logs over to the wood chipper.
Yeah, and like, who thinks this is a good idea for an efficient system? You have to rely on a robot to use bumpers to whack your wood onto another platform, which then goes into the wood chipper. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Whoever designed this is not the best engineer, but it
Are they
gives us something
using
to
wood
do.
here for energy usage? Because think of the forge trees.
That's what
I
happens when
know.
you have inorganic robots deciding what to do with organic materials. They just don't
Yeah,
know.
it just doesn't make any sense. But it's whatever. That was the last puzzle of the level. And we get to move on to more fun things. Hooray. So another just little auto-scrollery section where you have to use your biped's leg to throw some more wood into the wood chipper, and we did it. So this door is now open. If you don't do it, your biped smacks into that door and falls to its death, which is really sad. So we avoided that. Hooray.
Every time your biped dies, it kind of just like has a little heartbroken emote. Please
Yeah,
don't make the robot sad.
we don't want to make the robot sad. We gotta make the robot happy. But yeah, that was High Treetop. That is like the delta of that level is always very small. Like you can't really do anything to speed it up other than getting all the puzzles first try. But we are on to the longest level of the game, the dreaded Blue Rapids. This introduces the raft system, because why do we not need a water level in a robot game? Every good game needs a water level, so we are on these rafts. And these rafts control really poorly, but you have to like move your legs to control them. And for whatever reason, the optimal speed for these rafts is just a little bit slower than the normal cadence of movement for the biped. So like you have to consciously know in your head like how fast to move these to get the fastest speed. And there's like no in-game indicator of how fast you're moving. This was like very painstakingly timed by myself, and just like to figure out how to get the fastest movement on these things was really annoying. But here we are going to be a nice helper. We have lots of friends that are stuck. So for whatever reason, these guys with like what I assume is a sheriff hat robots, they decided to take their rafts out, and for some reason their rafts are like mechanical or something. I don't know. They're smoking. Like they are broken. They are not working. Yeah, I don't know why they can't just steer theirs the same way we steer our raft, but they're pretty useless. So we have to help them out.
That's what Sunny's gonna do here is just basically push the sheriff bots over to, I guess, support area. And he's gonna be doing plenty of that in this level.
Yeah, there's lots of robots that got stuck on this river for whatever reason. I'm not sure why they all decided to take their rafts out on the same day and then all get broken down on the same day. Because it seems like there are no robots that are like, perfectly working, that are just enjoying their day on the river.
They need better quality assurance.
Yeah, they all broke down on the same day. It's weird. So yeah, here we have the tethered robots. In the co-op campaign, this level you're actually tethered to your partner for the entire level, and it's really obnoxious. But in the solo campaign, we have to help the tethered robots. So I like to imagine that these are the people in co-op that got stuck, and now I have to help them.
Yeah, so this physics can be like a little clunky because these they can get trapped behind here, and you're also, as you also see, there's kind of like these rapid waterfalls that kind of push you kind of downwards, so you kind of have to be careful not to let your fellow robots, or not cowboy, but sheriff robots fall. But this one's not as bad, but this next, but after this one, there's going to be one that's going to be pretty obnoxious.
Yeah, and the flow, like, so the waterfalls and the rapids, it does have direction to it, and as long as you are fighting back at like full speed, you will never fall off. But casually, if you're not super good at the movement here, it is really annoying to get these robots through the rapids. But yeah, we have a little intermission section here where we get to do some more actual biped movement. We have these little, I don't know what you want to call them, like little pendulums that are swinging, that are trying to knock us off. But yeah, and then we have some more shape puzzles because we didn't learn our shapes yet, so we gotta learn shapes.
So this puzzle, these shapes like will move a certain direction when you press them in. Sunny Sunny is a smart robot and knows how to pretty much use the specific combinations so that this puzzle or the shapes will pretty much converge at one place and go through them.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you have to wait for the shape to finish moving before you can hit the next one. So you can only do this puzzle so quickly. The IL here actually doesn't move all of them into place, but uses that little spin and jump type thing to get across the gap. But that is way too inconsistent for a full game run, so we actually just have to solve the puzzles. Oh, okay. You can, if you're quick enough, get a little boost off of these pendulums. They'll go in the same direction as your biped and help you move to the side. But yeah, we are done with the intermission section. Back to the raft we go. Right there, I have to go completely input neutral because you can get stuck in the raft. Like the game can glitch out and just decide that you are now part of the raft and you can't move. It's really annoying when it does that because you have to reset from checkpoint. But yeah, right here we have a lot of moving rapids. It's pretty annoying, but as long as you are moving at the optimal cadence, you can never get like actually fallen off. But this rope is too long, so I have to be very, very careful here because the rope is like way longer than the distance between the two docks. And if you get it stuck behind one of these robots, you are 100% soft locked and you have to reload the save. So just got to be a little bit careful there to make sure that I don't lose 30 seconds having to redo the puzzle. Yeah, we're just having a nice little day on the river here, just hanging out.
So now there's a. So now there's one more set of sheriff robots to save, and what Sunny has to do here is kind of drag them down this little waterfall here. Since they're kind of in the weird spot, and then once he's done that, he's kind of has to now like drag them back up the little not waterfall, but like little ridge part again. You have to drag them back up slowly. This puzzle can get really annoying because you can get stuck in places and it can take you a while to get them unstuck.
Yeah, we are currently stuck. That little rock on the right hand side, it doesn't look like it's in the way, but it definitely is. So I'm trying to get a little bit more to the left to unstick my robots. I also think I'm above one of them. So part of like jumping down the waterfall thingy that is really difficult is making sure that you don't land on top of one of your robots because you can just get completely stuck. And I think I might be on top of one. Okay, now we're good. But yeah, so if you land on top of one of the rafts, the game will like never readjust your horizontal position, and you could just be like completely soft locked and not know why because you're actually above the robots and you're not dragging the chain. It's kind of weird how the game does that, but that wasn't too bad. That puzzle is like it can take really, really long if you don't get through that channel quickly. But it's pretty much all RNG. You just have to hope that your robots are in a good position to get up there. In the individual level, there's actually a way to go just over the top and not go down the waterfall, but it's really, really precise, and you basically have to bounce the top robot off the wall to get enough distance and then grab the chain from there. But yeah, and that's the end of Blue Rapids. This is the longest level in the game, and you can just lose like 30 seconds here, but that went pretty smoothly.
Can I fit in a donation here?
Absolutely.
We have $5 from Quadriceps, who says, just got back from work, gotta cheer on my favorite speedrunning boomer. Donation goes to Runner's Choice.
Hey, Quadra. Let's do, what are the Spyro color options?
We've got black, pink, and yellow.
Let's go pink.
Pink Spyro.
Pink Dragon, let's go.
All right, moving on to the last level. So this is Sunset Ridge. This is kind of the culmination of the game where it throws a lot of the mechanics you've learned over the past few levels at you all at once. So the first unique thing is these switches, which rotate these cylinder platforms. And you just have to kind of rotate them into place. Not a big deal. These platforms are sticky, so you can be at like somewhat of an angle before falling off of them. But for the most part, it's like pretty inconsistent how they're sticky. So I try to get them right in between the sections that I need to move across, just to be safe. And then we have more like corkscrew puzzles where you have to wind up this little platform. These platforms are really unique because the less you wind them, the faster they move. So if you wanted to go really, really fast in this level, you wouldn't wind them all the way, and you would just try to like get on them very, very quickly. The IL does this, but again, we are running the full game, so I value consistency at this point in the game over half a second of speed. So we just we take a little bit of the time loss just to make sure that we get things done quickly. This puzzle is a little weird. You have to use your biped's feet to get this ball over into the hole. Okay, cool. First try. Let's go. And these puzzles are like really, really aggravating when you're first doing them because it's just another physics puzzle. But with practice, they're not too bad. Yeah, we got a couple skips coming up using our friendly bouncing pad things here. So in this section, you're meant to like wind up these platforms, but by getting the correct angle off of those trampoline pads, you can just completely skip those sections. So I got both of those first try, which is really, really good. It's pretty inconsistent. The angle that you get as well as the speed kind of plays into it. So on that first one, if you cut it at like a perfect diagonal, you're good. And the second one, in the other direction, you have to do the same thing. We got another skip coming up here. So I'm going to be using my biped to try to heel hook this platform. So I need to like extend one leg, and you can hook onto it and climb up from there. But okay, we're not going to do that because it's not working out today. That skip is actually really, really hard, and it doesn't save that much time. So I have to move this cylinder twice now. Not the biggest deal in the world, but it does eat a little bit of time.
Maybe we get to learn how to count again a little bit.
Yep, counting to 2. Hey, we did it. So this is going to be our helper robot for the end of this level. He is actually useful. He does things that are good. So he is going to activate one of these switches for us, which is going to trigger the ball to drop. This puzzle in particular has like a long cutscene, so I'm trying to get to it quick enough where I can manipulate the ball before the cutscene happens. This is going to cause the first ball to fall, but then the second one is going to be timed perfectly so I can get it into the end stage thing here. But yeah, I use a little bit of a visual indicator here to make sure that this thing works. So I wait for it to be on the 3rd quadrant before I hop on this platform, and then I let it go down and straight in there.
I believe that thing can be a little weird sometimes because if there's way too much speed on that ball, it'll just like bounce off of bounds, and then you're a sad robot.
Yeah, that puzzle can be very, very aggravating, just because you're using the seesaw mechanic, like in and of itself, which is pretty jank and that is fairly inconsistent, and you're using it to manipulate more seesaws. So the game at this point is just like throwing the kitchen sink at you for all the mechanics that you should have learned. That might have been too early. But I'm using a death abuse right there because the checkpoint is on the side that I want to be on. But I have to use these little roller thingies to manipulate the other cylinder into the position that I want so I can cross. Nothing too complicated though.
Yeah, unfortunately this one you can't really depth warp since the checkpoint I believe is back there somewhere.
Yeah, that one does lose a little bit of time. But one more feet puzzle, and then we're on to the final puzzle of this level. So this one right here, we have this ball. It's we have to use our little, I don't even know what to call it, our little flippers to get this ball into this first section, and then we just use the black switch to get the ball up to this one, maybe. Oh, come on.
Oh. Yeah, sometimes this thing can be, a
There we go.
little bit janky.
And then we just spin the whole thing around instead of going back to the white switch and flipping it around. But time is coming up here really quick. Once I hit this final button, we are done. Because that is Sunset Ridge. That's the game's last and hardest level. Time. Hey, right on estimate. Feels good. But yeah, that's Biped. It's actually a really fun speed game. It's pretty quirky. It's pretty short as well, which is nice. I know finding time to do these long, like 5-hour JRPG runs is always hard. So if you're interested in running Biped, there is a Discord. You can find the link on SRC. We're more than happy to help new runners pick up the game. The co-op scene is pretty thriving. I would like to see some more interest in the solo category because it's a lot of fun. But yeah, that's the end of the run. Thank you, Sanjin, for helping me out with commentary. And yeah, if you're interested in running Biped, join the Discord.
Thanks for having me. And GG's on the run.